New toy for the shop. All right. That is a big plastic tub and a blade. All right, what's in this thing? Not the easiest of latches. Extra brushes. That should be good. Alright, this thing is massive, that's for sure. This tub, I think, takes up half the shop. It's definitely a big saw. Looks like the wrench for the blade gets screwed into here. This fence can come out. It's good for making long strip cuts. So far I like the toolless parts here. This seems to work out pretty well. Standard thread on this, that's kind of interesting. Alright. See how I'll get that blade into here. That wasn't so bad. Wrench is held in with a little thumb screw here. Just a thumb screw. A stamped metal wrench. There's a button back here too. I'm guessing is the blade lock. Let me test that right now. Alright. A window right here. I'm guessing you can look down and see the blade through there. I'm not sure how, because there's this metal guard here actually blocks all that as well. I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll be able to see better once I'm actually using it. This cord seems okay. Decent quality. Alright, let's give it a chooch. it runs. Next up, we'll grab some steel and give it a try. So I've got a lot of these 1/4-inch plate steel out in my scrap area. That's mostly all these really odd shapes. They've been flame cut in different areas, and for the most part they're not usable as is. I'd always had plans to someday get a plasma cutter to actually cut these things up, but now with these newer Evolution saws, you know, this right around the same price on Amazon as a plasma cutter. But he's actually supposed to make a lot nicer cuts and hopefully a little bit easier to use. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. I'll bring you in a little bit closer. Got my extra goggles on and hearing protection, and I'm going to see if I can go ahead and get a more rectangular piece out of, you know, this oddball shape. Let me bring you in here and see how this goes. I honestly have to say that went 100 times better than I expected. That wasn't much different, you know, slightly slower, but wasn't much different than cutting plywood with a skill saw. This is a 1/4-inch thick mild steel plate, and it just cut through that, you know, like I said, even better than I expected. All the reviews have said that this cuts really well, so I did expect it to cut really well. I did not expect it to go that fast. Let me go ahead and zip up the rest of these corners and, you know, make a good rectangle out of this. So I didn't really make any measurements other than using my square to get the largest rectangular piece I could out of this. I ended up with 26 by 25.5, almost square. And now it's a little bit easier to store, easier to carry, easier to move around, and just generally it should be more useful. This is one of the smaller pieces. I actually have several that are quite a bit larger. So I'll be chopping all of those up as well. Otherwise, I have to say, I think I love this saw. So that's a relatively quick review and going over. One thing I'm noticing, this here is actually quite warm. You know, the handle's not warm at all, but the outer cover there is warm. And the gearbox is warm. You know, I can touch it. It's not going to burn me, but it's not comfortable to hold my hand on it for any length of time. So that's a little concerning for, you know, if I was going to do a lot of this all at once. Definitely going to want to take breaks during usage. I won't want to, you know, crank through a whole bunch all at once. In fact, I probably don't want to do much more than what I just did here, without letting it rest for probably a good 30 minutes before that's going to cool down. otherwise, that's my quick and dirty review of this Evolution saw. This is the larger one. I have not tried the smaller one. I almost did get the smaller one. I decided to opt for the larger one, and I think I'm glad I did, especially with the way it heated up. The smaller one I don't think would have anywhere near the duty cycle to keep up with, this level of work. All right, well, thanks for watching.